Now to a News Nation exclusive involving one of the world's biggest mysteries. A new whistleblower risking everything to reveal a secret UFO retrieval mission by our government years ago. An Air Force veteran revealing it all in our special tomorrow night at 8 Eastern called Hunting UFOs. Here's a peek at what's to come.
A lot of the work we did was on what I call the range, where the U.S. government and its private partners use to test all kinds of things, weapon systems and resilience to weapon systems of certain craft. And so you see a lot of exciting things. My work has included the recovery of downed UAP of non-human origin.
How long have you known this secret about unidentified anomalous phenomena being of non-human origin?
For more than 10 years.
And at no stage were you ever subsequently told that the craft was of non-human origin?
I will tell you that during this process over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
Well, many others are on a mission to learn more about these non-human intelligence crafts, including two brothers who use a mobile field lab called the Nightcrawler to collect data. Senior correspondent Laura Ingle getting an exclusive peek inside that lab along the shoreline on Long Island. So, Laura, tell us, what did you find out?
Hey, Nicole. Yeah, we got this up close and personal view of the Nightcrawler. This is a retrofitted RV, essentially a rolling mobile lab that these two brothers have put together, John and Jerry Tedesco. They are very well known in the UAP world. In fact, they're often on our specials with Ross Coulthart. So a lot of people are going to know these guys. And of course, they've been studying the skies for years and have been very busy in these last few months. Take a look at some of what we have here. The Tedesco brothers are both engineers who have been using the Nightcrawler to record their findings, and we caught up with them outside of the Francis Gorbeski Airport yesterday in West Hampton Beach, where they were set up to monitor those recent drone sightings we were talking about at the airport, using their observatory on wheels, essentially, equipped with specialized cameras, which has a 36 times optical zoom, night vision, Geiger counters, G-force sensors, and monitors, which they use to look at the parameters of their sightings, comparing them to commercial real-time flight tracking data to investigate what the flying objects in the sky may be. Take a listen.
This is a portable radar system.
Okay.
It's a millimeter wave radar, and what it does is it detects motion up to about 200 miles per hour.
Okay.
So if there's objects...
Is that the sound I'm hearing?
Yes. As a matter of fact, if my brother Jerry walks in one direction, you can hear his motion.
Yeah.
The sound of a biped in motion.
Like a biped.
A biped in motion.
All right, the Tedesco brothers use multiple radar systems as well, which can scan the atmosphere horizontally and vertically. Their vertical system, Nicole, is able to reach up to 70,000 feet in the air, which can detect any moving objects in addition to tracking radioactive particles in the sky. They also use a UVC radiation detector, which can detect electrical discharges. And they recently got a positive hit on an object that was spotted over the water here behind me, right down at Robert Moses State Park. And it's interesting to note that anytime that they find something like this, they do call the FBI and they turn over their findings. The FBI said to be looking at their footage of what they have recently spotted. Nicole?
All right, yeah, a lot of people interested in this, Laura. Thank you.
I'm very convinced that Jake Barber is a former top Tier 1 military personnel. He's served at the highest levels of the US military, the US Air Force. His service is corroborated by 3 people on the program and 2 of his colleagues who've worked with him on what he euphemistically refers to as the range, where these objects were recovered, backing his story. And they are also former Tier 1 operatives, the very highest elite of the US military. We've been able to confirm Mr. Barber's service with him. We've been with him when he's gone to give evidence to the Senate Select Committee for Intelligence, and we've been watching over his shoulder as he's also briefed ARO, the Pentagon's UFO office. And it's quite clear everyone's taking his information very seriously. The big question is anybody going to do anything about it?
What's an HI?
You want to take that question? NHI stands for non-human intelligence. It's basically, Chris, the vernacular that's used now to describe something that is not of human origin, basically a biological specimen or a technology that's created by something that is intelligent but is not human.
What do you make of that, Lou?
Well, look, if this turns out to be legitimate, then you're talking about a story that's probably even bigger than the 2017 story the New York Times broke when I first came out and some of my colleagues. This is a tier 1 operator. So think of the best, people who've been psychologically evaluated on a regular continuing basis. They have top secret security clearances. They take drug tests, polygraph examinations, and they are really America's best of the best. They're our finest operators in special operations. So whenever anything bad goes down, these are the folks that you call to go and fix it. And so when you have someone of his caliber coming out to have this conversation with the American people, that says a lot. People better be paying attention. If it turns out what he's saying is legitimate, this is going to be perhaps one of the biggest stories, frankly, over the last 50 years, perhaps.
Ross, what are the questions for you after what we'll learn in the special tomorrow night?
Look, the simple fact is that there's a problem, Chris. The Pentagon is consistently trying to evade answering questions on this subject. They've told us that they have confirmed that Jacob Barber's claims have been made, that they're aware of the claims, but they're maintaining their persistent claim that there is no evidence of any programs regarding the possession of reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials. And I can tell you, Mr. Barber has overwhelming evidence. That evidence was provided originally to Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick by a member of his team, including imagery. And for some reason, that imagery and other data disappeared when the new ARO director, the new Pentagon UFO boss, tried to investigate this material. He couldn't find it anywhere in the Pentagon's UFO office. It would appear someone had lost it. And I think what's going on here is the ARO, the Pentagon's UFO office, is being used as a foil. It's basically being used by the Defense Department to try to fob off any further public transparency. And frankly, I think we're now on a slippery slope because Mr. Barber, as a whistleblower, is just the beginning. There are many more in the sidelines.
Lou, weren't you one of the guys that used to make that stuff disappear so the rest of us couldn't find out about it?
I mean, yeah, Chris, I was at a time one of those guys. Some people have accused me of being one of the men in black. I prefer to be referred to now as one of the men in white, trying to bring transparency and some information into the public eye. Ross has done an incredible job with this. By the way, he's been sitting on this now for almost a year and a half, if I'm not mistaken, Ross. And I know individuals that I personally am aware of that I'm friends with that are also former special operations operatives that were helping in the security of this individual because, like many of us, he feared for his life because of the information that he had is so explosive. Think about this for a second. Surprise, surprise. Sean Kirkpatrick, the former ARO director, saying, someone may have talked to us, but we don't have any more of the evidence that was supplied to us. The new ARO director, I think, is taking this topic very seriously. Frankly, I'm very optimistic that maybe we'll get somewhere with this new director. But the last director had showed himself over and over again, frankly, in my opinion, to not be very truthful to the American people and to Congress. And so now we have this whistleblower coming out, and you're going to see, I guess, in video of him actually going and reporting this information to key figures in our government.